theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Take note of that. So these are the formula that will definitely help us in this topic, measuration, because if you cannot recall all these formulae vividly, it will be very difficult for us to solve questions under this particular topic, because this topic is formulae centered. So that is why it is very pertinent that we need to recall all these formulae when necessary. So in that situation, we also have total surface area and volumes of cuboids. We are talking about cuboids. So we have LB area, total surface area, LB plus LH plus BH. Then if it is volume, it is LBH. Take note for a cuboid. Then for cylinders, total surface area, that's TSA, is equals to 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Take note of that. Then the volume is pi R squared H. Take note of that. Then also, if you talk about the cones, total surface area of a cone is pi RL plus pi R squared. Then the volume is 1/3 pi R squared H. That's the formula for calculating the volume of a cone. Then pyramids. Pyramids has only volume. Pyramids, the formula for calculating the volume of a pyramid, that's the volume, is AH. That's where A is the area and H is the height. Take note of that. Then the spheres also has the formula for calculating the area of the sphere is 4 pi R squared. 4 pi R squared is the formula. Then the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi R cubed. Take note of that. Then that's all. Then on longitude and latitude, this one is not far-fetched, which we ought to have learned in our previous lessons. Because when you are talking about longitudes, we are talking about the direction from west to what? East. While latitude will tell you more about your north and your south pole. So that is simply on that. And this, according to the UTME syllabus, most of their questions are centered on the distances, because we know that we can calculate distance along the longitude and distances. If it's about along the longitude, is also known as what? Along the great circles. Take note of that. And the formula for the distance along the longitude or the great circle is definitely theta over 360. Theta over 360 times 2 pi capital R. Take note of that. Where R is the radius of the earth. Pi is the constant, which is usually 22/7, or sometimes can be given as 3.142. Where this one is the what? The difference in what? Latitude. Take note of that. It could be the difference in latitude, it could be the difference in longitude. That is the distance along the great circles or along the longitude. But if you are calculating the distance along the parallel of latitude, we normally introduce distance, latitude. So if you are calculating the distance along the parallel of latitude, we normally introduce our small r. Here, small r is quite different from what? Big R. Now, if you are calculating distance along the parallel of latitude or the small circle, parallel of latitude or what? Small circle, because latitude are formed in a small circle, So the formula of that is theta over 360 times 2 pi small r. Take note of that. Where small r is equals to what? Capital R cos alpha. Where your alpha is your what? Latitude. So that means it can be deduced that your distance at the end will be theta over 360 times 2 pi capital R cos latitude. So that is that. So you can see that it is very, very pertinent to note at this point that are you calculating distance along the longitude of great circles when you use this formula, or are you calculating distance along the parallel latitude or small circles when you use this formula? By the time we go into question solving, you'll appreciate the use of all these formulae. So let's see this question so that you can appreciate what I am saying. So let's see, look at the questions. If you look at the first question, calculate the perimeter of a sector of a circle of radius 12 centimeters and angle 60 degrees. Also look at the second one. An arc of the length 16 pi centimeters sustains an angle of 80 degrees at the center of the circle. Find the radius of the circle. Also, an arc sustained, you can see an angle of 30 degrees at the center of a circle of radius 12 centimeters. Calculate the length of the arc. Then the fourth one states that calculate the perimeter of a sector of a circle of radius 9 centimeters and angle 36 degrees. Then the last one, which is number 5 for this particular part, is if the end point of one side of square RSTU are R and -1, -2, and -1, -1, and S 3 and -1. Find the area of the square. If you look at these 5 questions, what you can extrapolate is that question 1 and question 4 are similar. Likewise, question 2 and question 3 are also similar. What it means is that the moment you are able to recall the appropriate formulae for all these questions, your answer comes out naturally. And to agitate your mind, 1, 2, 3, 4 are tested 2016. That's the last edition of the UTME. So they are tested in the same year. Imagine, they are tested in the same year. So that means you have 4 marks to yourself if you are able to solve all these questions. So let's see how you are to go about the questions within the shortest possible time. So look at the first question. Calculate the perimeter of a sector. Based on the formulae that I gave during the analysis, or when I was talking about this measuration, is I gave the for this perimeter of a sector. Perimeter of a sector has a formula. Perimeter of a sector, and the formula is 2r plus length of an arc, which is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. This is the formula. So once you are able to recall this formula, then you will be rest assured that you will get the answer. So if you look at the parameters given, you are given the radius, which is 12 centimeters. You are also given the theta, which is 60 degrees. So let's substitute that into this. So you have 2 times r, 12, plus theta, that's 60 degrees, over 360 times 2 pi times, what is radius? Radius is also 12 centimeters. So in this situation, if you look at this times this, that will give us 24, plus this can divide this, 6 here 1, 6 here 6, 6 here 1, 6 here 12, 2 times 2 pi, that's 4 pi. So we have 24 plus 4 pi. So if you go to your option and see the one that will match this very answer, and if you look at that, the answer is not far-fetched. It is option B. That's 24 plus 4 pi. Another way, because the examiner can be so tricky. Another way is that the answer might not be presented this way. You can say that 4 is common, so I can bring the 4 out. Then I will be left with 6 plus pi. But in this regard, the answer is this. But sometimes the answer might not be left this way. The answer might be left this way. So in that situation, then you pick this. You can see how we've been able to recall the formula and how it has helped us in solving the problem. So also, question 2, an arc of the length 16 pi sustains an angle of 80 degrees at the center of the circle. Find the radius. So this one, we're going to be talking about the length of an arc, which is denoted by L. The length of an arc is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So if you look at this question very well, the question asks us to find the radius, which is this r. Then the question has given us the length. So what is the length? The length is 6 pi. I will give him theta Yes, our theta is 80 degrees over 360 times 2 times pi times what is the radius? Is the radius given for the second question? Find the radius. So the question has to do for this radius. So let's try and figure this out now. 0 can cancel 0. 4 in 8, 2. 4 in 36, 9. Then we have 2 times 2, 4. 4 pi r. So we have 16 pi equals to 4 pi r over 9. So our r will cross multiply. So our r will be 16 pi times 9 over 4 pi. So by making r the subject of the formula. So at this point, our pi can cancel pi. 4 here 1, 4 here 4. 4 times 9, that is 36 centimeter. So we go to our option and see the one that will match that answer. And that is no other option than option C. Why this one is option B. You can see that now. It is the formula that is helping us to figure out our answers. So that is why formulae are very important as far as this aspect of mathematics is concerned. Then let's see question 3. An arc sustains an angle of 30 degrees as the center of a circle of radius 12 centimeter. Calculate the length of the arc. It's the same thing. So they're just repeating questions with different figures. So length of an arc is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So the question has to find the length. Are we given theta for question? Yes, theta is given, that's 30 degrees. Divided by 36 degrees, 360 degrees rather, times 2 times, are we given pi? No, we're not given pi. Are we given radius? Yes, we are given radius 12. So this 0 can cancel this. 3 here 1, 3 here 12. 12 here 1, 12 here 1. So we have 2 pi centimeter. So our length of the arc is 2 pi centimeter. So we go to our option.